Hello engineers, welcome back. In this video, we're going to practice 2D vectors for a bit using a Leet code question. I hope you're ready. Let's get started. So in this video, we'll see a simple problem, richest customer wealth. So let's try to understand the question and then we'll figure out the solution, right? So you are given an m by n integer grid accounts where accounts of I, j is the amount of money the ith customer has in the jth bank. Return the wealth that the richest customer has. Okay. A customer's wealth is the amount of money that they have in all their bank accounts. The richest customer is the customer that has the maximum wealth. Okay. Very simple. Let's see. There are two accounts 1, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 1. So the first vector is for the first customer, second vector is for the second customer, and one is the amount of money the first customer has in the first account, right? Ith customer in the jth bank. So in the first bank, customer 1 has 1 rupee, okay? And in the second bank, 2 rupees. In the third bank, 3 rupees. If we sum up all these three, we get the wealth for first customer. So if we do 1 plus 2 plus 3, this is the wealth of first customer. If we do 3 plus 2 plus 1, this is the wealth of second customer. So what do we need to do? We need to return the wealth that the richest customer has. Okay, so we are checking the wealth of every customer like this, and we need to return the maximum. So what do we need to do? We need to keep track of max wealth, and we go through each vector one by one, and we go through individual accounts, add them up, and we have a wealth of each customer, and we will compare it with the maximum wealth. If the maximum wealth is smaller than this customer account, we will update the maximum wealth, and then finally we will return it. Okay, we'll return the maximum wealth. Very simple. Let's see. First, let's keep a tracker for max wealth. This is what we will return, and initially this will be 0. Now let's iterate over the entire 2D vector for int I equal to 0, I less than accounts dot size I plus plus, for int j equal to 0, j less than accounts of I dot size and j plus plus. So here we can keep track of individual customer wealth. So we can call this in customer wealth. This will be 0, and we will add this customer wealth plus equals accounts of I and j. So we are taking the I and ith row and jth column, and then we are adding it to the customer wealth. Once we have calculated one customer wealth, we can check max wealth. Did we find a greater value than what is available in the max wealth? So this can be max of max wealth comma customer wealth. So whichever is greater gets copied to max wealth. So that's it. We can return max wealth. Okay. So we can submit this, and it is accepted. So very simple. So since we have some more time, I want to show you another way of iterating through the 2D vector. So if I don't need to use this index anywhere, let's say I'm not interested in using the index, I'm only interested in the value inside the vector, right? So I can do it in a different way. Let me write it first and then I will explain. So I know that each inner piece of the 2D matrix is a vector, right? I know the data type. a vector of int, and then this is my accounts. So what this line is saying is there is a vector called accounts, and inside accounts there is something called account, which is of data type vector int. Okay, and we can use this account directly instead of referencing it by index. We can do the same thing here as well. Inside account, now this account is a vector, right? And inside the vector there are integer values. So I know the data type int, and what does each value represent? It represents the amount of money in that particular account, right? So we can call it wealth, or we can call it money, or whatever name we want to give it. Let's call it wealth from account. So there is a vector called account, and each element in that account is of integer value, and we are calling it wealth. Okay, now I just need to say wealth. That's it. So instead of using index based iteration, I can also use this type of iteration. This is more cleaner to look at and more easier to operate with, and it has more meaning instead of calling I and j and things like that. Okay. So let's run it. Accepted. Let's submit, and this is accepted as well. Okay, so just a different way of iterating, and both work the same way. So whenever there is no need to use the index value, we can directly operate on the values themselves. So that's it. Very simple question. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we will solve more questions. Right. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Yes.